Welcome to our Cellular Healing Diet website. I'm Dr. Pompa, the author of the Cellular Healing Diet. I just want to take a couple minutes and explain why this book can be a life changer for you. We've sold over 50,000 copies of this book, and we did it without even trying. And really just from the testimonies of so many people who lost well over 100 pounds. But really the key is people who couldn't lose weight, or they lose 5-10 pounds and just stop. We refer to that as weight loss resistance, which has become an epidemic in this country. I became an expert around the country on weight loss, and believe me, I didn't try to do that. It really came through my own battle with an unexplainable illness and realizing that toxins have a major effect on the cell and therefore have an effect on people not being able to lose weight despite what they eat and despite how much they exercise. So many people today battle that right there, and they try diet after diet after diet. And one of the things that I love to say is, look, it's not your fault. You give in to the food or the craving because it's a weight loss problem caused by hormones. So it's not your fault. It's a hormone problem. And I always love to educate people on this topic because weight loss in the 21st century has more to do with hormones than even what you're eating. Definitely even how much you exercise. Hormones are the big problem, and people instinctively know that. But understanding toxins' effect on hormones gives us a better understanding of why people can't lose weight. This book really explains that concept. It even explains how hormones are affected by toxins, and it gives two other causes in this book that drives it, one of which is fat. One of the biggest problems that I have is getting people to understand this concept right here. Look, fat doesn't make you fat. It's the inability to burn fat that makes you fat, and that is in fact a hormone problem. So it's the hormonal inability to burn fat. And we talk about that, I talk about that in this book, and how to beat that. So see, when you fix the hormone problem, you fix the cravings. So it really isn't your fault. Why you end up giving in to the bread or the cookies. Because once you fix that hormone problem, you lose the cravings. And that's really key. And I talk about it in the book. Hey, look, there's 3 diets in this book. I have my basic diet, an intermediate diet, and then the cellular healing diet. In the book, I have 5 factors to determine who needs this particular diet. As a matter of fact, you only need one of the 5 factors. And it also tells you when you can evolve back into my intermediate or basic. See, one thing I always educate people on is that, you can't pinpoint one diet on everybody. So I'm not saying that the cellular healing diet's for everybody. However, I will admit that it is for most Americans. See, because the weight loss problem or epidemic really is a hormonal problem. But another thing that I always have to teach is hormone problems are not necessarily a problem with needing more hormones. It's a problem with the receptor to the hormone, and those receptors are on the cell. Let me explain that, because it's a concept that we talk about in the book. And by the way, all the foods you need to eat and not eat are in this book. So all the resources are here. There's even almost 100 recipes that are on the cellular healing diet. But I want to teach you this concept. Behind me, you see I wrote cellular weight loss, because see, that's the trick. This is the trick to why people can't lose weight, and when you fix it, this is why people end up losing weight. All those testimonies you've heard about this diet, this is where the magic lies. First of all, you always see me draw this right here. And no, it's not just a round circle, this is actually a cell, all blown up. But on every cell, we have these little receptors that are hormone receptors. And this is really the problem. See, when we look at the literature and we hear inflammation is the problem of heart disease, cancer, and all these different diseases, even autism and autism-related disorders, we're not talking about inflammation of the sore shoulder, although that is inflammation. We're talking about inflammation of this cell membrane. So what happens is when the inflammation occurs, now these receptors to the hormones get blunted. Now, it can be the hormone leptin. Leptin is the hormone that tells your brain to burn fat for energy. Remember what I said. Fat doesn't make you fat. It's the inability to burn fat, and that's a hormone problem. See, this hormone tells your brain to become a fat burner. So what happens though is when this membrane inflames, now leptin can't communicate with the receptor and get its message into the cell. So now you're not able to burn fat for energy, and you know what? That means you're stuck in sugar burning mode. Now, ultimately what that means is you're going to fail on every diet, and that's not good. So it's not your fault. But when you fix the cell, not only are you able to lose weight, but when you fix the cell, you get well. That's how really I learned about weight loss. And, because I really dealt with so many people like myself who just struggled with unexplainable illnesses and hormone problems. My thyroid wasn't working right, although my blood work was normal. And by the way, this concept, I'm talking about leptin, but it could be thyroid hormone as well. See, it's not the problem with the hormone, but it's the problem with the receptor toward the hormone, which is a cellular problem. That's why your blood work can look normal. And again, it can cause sudden weight gain. The key is fixing the cell. I talk about in this book, and I break down so many different myths in here that you just have to understand. The fact that saturated fat in meat causes heart disease and cancer and cause you to gain weight. Well, I break down that myth in this book and so many others, because fat doesn't make you fat. We actually need it to actually lose weight. Matter of fact, it's fat that helps fix these receptors, and I talk about that. So it's some of these really small little things like that make such a massive difference in this actually working or a diet being successful. So really, what makes this diet so different, makes this book so different, is number one, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but I am saying that this is the only diet that will fix this massive epidemic and the cause of why people are stuck and can't lose weight. And then once we fix this problem, we can evolve you into a diet that genetically works for you. Where I say you find that line, and if you cross it, you start gaining weight again. The success of this really comes down to fixing the cell. Because if you fix the cell, you're going to fix the hormone receptor, you fix the hormone problem. I talk about the three factors, or the three things that drive this problem right there. Toxins is one of them. Also, bad fats is another one. And in the diet, in this book, I give you some ideas on really how and what fats to cook with, and what fats really help this problem. But one of the things you have to understand is you can make good fats bad, and I tell you what temperature and what fats to actually cook with so you don't make a good fat bad, which can actually drive weight problems. So there's just so many resources in here, and yeah, there's about 100 different recipes, like I said, and also a food guide that kind of walks you through it. It couldn't be any easier. It really is, a diet that I don't even like calling a diet. It really more is about the cell. So that's why I love the term cellular weight loss. But look, I know it's going to help you. Pass it on to your friends. I know you'll become a testimony. And what I always say is, look, you just do what I tell you to do, and you'll have the results, no doubt about it. I lived it myself, folks. I know you'll love it. Thank you very much.